Shine on me, shine on me. Shine on me, shine on me. I've been going out of my head. I've been waiting for someone to give me help. All I'm asking for is just some space and some time. Then I'll be alright.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm joined by beautiful Faith, who you've seen on my channel before. Make sure to check her out. Today I'm going to be testing out three 35mm lenses. They're all 1.4. We have a Canon, we have a Sigma, and we have a Tamron. They're all on different price points. They all have something different to offer, and I want to see which one is the best value for money. We're going to be testing it out with Faith, trying different options, seeing how the 1.4 performs and so on. So before we get into this video, please make sure to check out Faith. She's going to be linked in the description below. And make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell button to not miss any of my future uploads. And let's get right into it. Psst, you all know what's coming. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in platform that will help you make your dream website, portfolio, or an online shop become a reality. Squarespace has hundreds of beautiful templates, so you will definitely find something that suits you and your personal style. You can build a professional portfolio website in a matter of hours, and you'll be able to customize it every step of the way. So it's so you that nobody can deny it's not. As we all know, social media presence is power, and with Squarespace, you'll be able to auto-post all your content to Twitter, Facebook, or Tumblr with proper tags and descriptions. Finally, Squarespace helps you with the marketing. They help you with SEO, as well as some plugins for Instagram stories and so on, as well as share buttons, so your followers can give you some juicy shoutouts on their social media. If that sounds like something you'd like to try, make sure to go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And once you're ready to go, use my code squarespace.com/Anita to receive 10% off your first purchase. Let's be honest, first and foremost, the biggest difference between the lenses is the price. When you look at Canon, you're looking at $1,800 for the lens. When you're looking at Tamron, it's around $900, and then when you're looking at Sigma, it's $500. And I genuinely don't understand why the Tamron and Sigma are relatively similar in price point, and then the Canon lens is just so incredibly expensive. One thing that I did read when I was doing my research, I heard that some of the lenses have slightly different color tones to each other. To be honest, when I was taking the photos, I didn't really see that much color difference between any of them. From somebody who color grades a lot for a living pretty much, it was not a big issue at all. It wouldn't be something that would, sway me towards one lens or the other, because they were both very similar. So for today's video, we are going to color grade our photos using the new tropical pack that I released recently. As you see, these are the colors that we have. There's a lot that match something that I like, but I think I'm just gonna go for something really simple for this one, and I'm going to go for number 1. So here it is. As you see, it's very nice and low-key. It's not too loud. I'm going to bring the blacks up a tiny bit, and I'm gonna bring the whites down a tiny bit as well, and then just brighten it ever so slightly. And here we go. If you do like what you see, make sure to check out my website, anitasadowska.eu. You can purchase your presets there. Don't forget the discount code that you can find in the description below. Happy shopping, and let's get back into the video. Let's talk about the most important aspect of all three lenses, and that's obviously the focusing and the sharpness. That's what you're paying your money for, and that's the most important aspect. So I tested out the Canon, then the Sigma, then the Tamron last. I used a variety of f-stops. I shot on 1.4, 3.5, 5.6, and 8. I tested it out in a wide range, because I thought that, on 1.4, you'll get a good idea of if the lens is sharp or not. 3.5 is usually what I shoot at, and I was interested to see if any of them would still miss focus at that focal length, because they really shouldn't. And then 5.6 and 8, there really shouldn't be any mishaps for focusing either. So I started with the Canon, and I will say that it was definitely the most effortless, or it felt the most effortless when I was shooting. It was focusing really fast. It was going really well. But at the same time, when I looked at the photos while I got home, Not every one of them was in focus. Now, some of it might have to do with the fact that I'm shooting on the 5D Mark IV. I use a 1-point focus system, so it does fail me sometimes. I am also not super steady when I shoot. I move around a lot. I, lean in and lean out, so that definitely works against the lens. However, saying that, there was definitely a lot of sharp images at 1.4, even with me moving around and so on. Second, I definitely enjoyed the Tamron. I feel like it was a very close runner. It felt super smooth. It didn't feel as smooth as the Canon, but actually it was performing really well. And when I looked at the photos afterwards, I potentially had more sharp images from Tamron than I did from Canon, which I found really interesting. The last place was definitely the Sigma. It was missing some of the shots. It was more out of focus than the other lenses. So it was still okay. I won't say it wasn't. I feel like for the price difference that you're paying between the Sigma and the Canon, I still feel like it performed really, really well, but it was definitely the least smooth out of the three lenses. For this next test, I got Faith to walk towards me, and I wanted to see if the lenses at 3.5 will stay sharp and will be able to focus. I was half pressing the button to focus, and then I was taking the photos. And I have to say, I was again pleasantly surprised. All three of them had pretty much all the images in focus, so I didn't really struggle with anything at all. So for this next test, we are going to take some video footage because I know some of you are also interested in video. We're going to shoot with 1.4 because the sun is still nicely behind the clouds, so I think it's going to be a good test. And we're going to see how it looks, how fast the focus is, if it goes out of focus and so on, and we'll see. When it comes to video, if you're looking at getting a 35 to do videography, I have to say all three lenses were relatively really good in terms of the footage. There was no color differences. The focusing was very efficient and fast. Again, I would say the Canon focusing was the fastest, then the Tamron, and then the Sigma, but the differences were not huge enough to drastically sway my decision towards one or the other. The colors were relatively the same in all the footage as well. As I said, I didn't struggle with the focus at all, so all in all, it was definitely a very pleasant experience. I also did test out the video at 1.4, and I have to say all lenses performed really well. The focus was really efficient. I was coming in and out and I was moving around, and I have to say the focus was on point. There was a few times where maybe it drifted off a tiny bit, but all in all, I feel like all three lenses performed really well. So we have a bit of sun. I want to actually test it out in natural, like direct sunlight, and see how it goes. So we're gonna go to 3.5. That's what I usually shoot at. Maybe like 1,600 of a second. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty solid. So we have the beautiful glow because of the body oil that we used. Then I'm gonna change into the Sigma. I just want to make sure that I shoot them all while we have the sun. It's pretty solid. I think like when you're shooting at 3.5, most of the lenses are pretty okay. So that's the only like downside, I guess.
Are coming our way. Yeah, yeah. Everything will be okay. 'Cause no one else can make me feel this way. Yeah, I'm completely flat.
Now we have some sun. We're gonna take some photos with the shade and see how it works. For this little test, we got Faith to sit half in the shade and half in the sun. I was interested to see how much we could lift the blacks and if we would have any problems recovering the highlights and so on. And I have to say, again, all three lenses were pretty good, and I didn't really see much of a difference. My favorite shot was actually from the Tamron. I feel like I just really liked the pose and how the light was wrapping around her. And yeah, I think the colors look really beautiful as well. Visually, when you're looking at all three lenses, Canon has that traditional L series lens look. I will have to say that it's actually surprisingly big for a prime lens. When you compare it next to my 24-70, it's actually almost the same size and weight, which I was super surprised by because I didn't expect the lens to be this heavy. I know it's a 1.4, so that probably explains it. And to be fair, it's still not the biggest lens. The most chunky and the biggest one is the Tamron out of the three of them. I will say not by much, but it is definitely a bit heftier of a lens. And then the Sigma, I won't lie, it feels the cheapest. There has been a bit of the lens that was moving. There was like a part of it that was, I don't know, it felt like it was falling apart. All of these are rentals, so I don't know what condition they are in, but I would say that in terms of durability and build, I would definitely go for either the Tamron or the Canon because the Sigma did feel a bit cheap. Finally, I want to take a few photos that are just kind of backlit. I feel like it's going to be really pretty for the lenses to like test out, see how they handle it. We're going to shoot on 2.5. Beautiful. Beautiful. So to sum up what I just covered in this video, I feel like I actually liked the Tamron the most, which was super surprising because I actually never shot with one and I thought it would be my least favorite, but here we go. I feel like it actually performed really well. It was pretty well priced for the quality of glass that you're getting. The build was really solid. The focusing was on point. Everything was just performing really, really well and seamless. It was super close to what the Canon performed like, and I feel like there's just no point in paying this much extra money for a lens that isn't that much better. I think my least favorite lens was the Sigma. It was definitely struggling with the focusing much more than the other two. I feel like the images were a bit softer as well, so overall I feel like it was a bit of a struggle bus, but it's still a solid lens if that's what your budget allows you to do. So bottom line, if you're on a budget, go for the Sigma. It's still a great quality lens, but you will probably struggle with the focus a tiny bit, but you are paying much less for it. If you want something that is overall really, really solid and that performs really well, try and go for the Tamron. I think it's a really solid lens that will work really, really well for you. And if you're feeling a bit bougie and you just have a bit too much money to spend, go for the Canon and just, treat yourself. So this is my final thoughts for the moment. I will be running some more tests in the coming weeks on my channel, so keep your eyes peeled. But for the moment, I think all in all, the winner for me is the Tamron. Okay guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed today's comparison. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have one of these lenses, and if so, which one did you choose? Before we just sign off, make sure to check out Faith. She's going to be linked in the description below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time.
If I were to lose you now, I don't know what I might